People, it could anger the people. When you're in politics, you should be a bit diplomatic. Unfortunately, I don't have that in me. But if I can even suggest that, it means that I know that something is not quite right, about how these people have come out. But let's see as things continue to play out. They are watching these things. They know these things. So they actually know what's going on. And yes, I do hear you loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear is your term. You always use that. So I do hear you loud and clear when you say, there's so much work, for the judges to do. And sometimes, yes, because of pressure, there is a tendency to bow, whether right or wrong. I do hear you, and I agree with you on that point. But having said that, sometimes it is just crystal clear. It is crystal clear. I'm not going to say anything, but I wish I could say something about Yogo State, for example. But sometimes it's crystal clear, and one cannot tell a human being who has intelligence, who has eyes, and can see what's going on, to believe something entirely different from what the person is actually seeing and experiencing. They say that experience is a great teacher, and yes, if you experience certain things, on those things you will stand. So this is where I would like to, to bow out. The truth is that it is becoming obvious, that this is the way it's going. But let's keep watching.
Yeah.
Wow. Sometimes you get the feeling when your father and your mother stop. What do you have to say? But see, I understand one fact that the judiciary system of courts is that place where they adjudicate legal cases a lot, and there is no emotion when it comes to judiciary. But I can say one thing for a fact, my personal opinion though, in that particular place where I felt it, and I'm feeling it right now, where the judicial adultery comes in, is from the area of appointments. I can tell you for a fact that there is nobody seated on this table that can question God, why did he create me in Nigeria?
Yeah.
God, why did you do this? You believe every judgment that comes from God is perfect. Now we have refused to understand that no matter how perfect a case result comes out, there is somebody at the corner that still feels is not perfect. Why? Just because the judgment did not favor them. When it doesn't favor you, it's not perfect. When it favors you, you celebrate. Every judgment in the judiciary system of government is like a football final. Somebody wins, somebody loses.
Sure.
Sometimes you lose and put the blames on your coach.
You may even have a hand of God like Maradona.
Yes.
I get you.
There was a particular match that he used his hand to put the ball in the net, and yet they won. And the referee blew. Right. You might put the blame on your coach for giving weak players or for making wrong selections. You might put the blame on the referee for blowing against you and not in support of you, or for being partial. I'm just trying to say, sometimes when people lose, when they loses out of something, they always want to put the blame somewhere. But see where my point is coming from. A president, according to the Nigerian constitution, gives the president power to appoint some particular people in this country, in some particular sector, that I've never felt all right about it. I feel it's bad, I feel it's wrong. So the president is going to appoint the CJN, the president is going to appoint the Independent National Electoral Chairman, the president is going to appoint the ICPC director, the DSS director, and you expect those people to work against the same president? No. So appointing Independent National Electoral Chairman now, I appointed you as the chairman of this place, and I'm contesting for my second time. And all you have to do is to rid me of the office. So one way or the other, that compromising will come, that partial will come. You cannot escape it. You know why? Because they are human. They will always act human. In every book a human being has written, there is a fault, as long as it's going to judge other human. Because you won't agree to it, even when it's right. The former governor of Jigawa, Sule Lamido, came out to say, he said something a few days ago that Tinubu is dragging us to our grave. I removed myself quickly because I'm not going to the grave now. I said, no,
I removed myself
as well. I'm not part of it. And what came to my mind, this man was, former Minister of Foreign Affairs during the time of Baba Obasanjo, I guess. The same man was governor in Jigawa twice. The same man is trying to put his family in key positions in Jigawa. The same man now does no longer have power to be a political actor he used to be. He's no longer relevant like he used to be. Now he's now
coming out to tell us that Tinubu is dragging us down.
Come and incite the public. To say, look at the case of Kano. They discovered that about 160 ballot papers were not authenticated.
Yeah.
Now let's remove 160,000 votes from the NNPP and see what remains. And whatever thing remains, the APC took over. Now, one thing about court, they will always tell you, you might be 100% right.
But if you don't have the evidence,
but if you don't have the
technicalities,
evidence,
you don't have
evidence.
The technicalities,
you understand?
You can be very sure that this case we are winning.
Look at reason they say it's my word against yours, it's your word against mine.
The Obi cases in 2006, I guess, when he went to court and several things happened. The same court that did not give him verdict now, the same court gave him verdict now. That in that year, and yeah, he was glad. He was really boosting about
the same court gave article.
When he had issue with Obasanjo,
and all that.
Yeah.
I was going to actually say something. It's not flesh and blood that is making you to speak the way you are speaking. For a young man speaking this way, I'm sorry I had to interrupt you. I'm glad. Okay? But what you are trying to do is to balance logic back into history, and then, of course, then look at one perception. Bottom line is simple. Good governance, fairness, equity. Let me take a sticky point in what you raised. He will pay the piper.
Dictates the tune. You took the words from my mouth.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Would dictate the tune.
Yes.
So, if we are practicing federalism that is eight along the American Constitution, in America, the same thing happens. However, perhaps the mindset is different. In our own climate, once I become the overseer, says in a church, I become the dibia in a shrine, and I become the ustaz in a mosque. Some of the things I'm going to be thinking is how to bring my wife to be my vice. How to bring my children to be my, and all that kind of stuff, and then the whole thing starts to wither down, and then
diminish.
We will throw away competence.
Values are lost.
Therefore, point number one, we are not right for democracy. Point number two is this. I'm happy you said the